More. Former Governor Sarah Palin, she's first, and she joins us live from Wasilla, Alaska. Good evening, Governor.
Hi, Greta. How are you?
I'm very well. All right, Governor, let's go right to Delaware. Can Christine O'Donnell win the United States Senate seat, and is she going to win?
I think she absolutely can win. She needs to stay on message, talking about reining in the federal government and really connecting with her Delaware voters and ignoring what the lamestream media is trying to do to her with all the distractions. Funny, Greta, though, that we are learning more about Christine O'Donnell and her college years and her teenage years and her financial dealings than anybody ever even bothered to ask about Barack Hussein Obama as a candidate and now as our president. We're learning a lot about Christine. She just needs to stay on message, and she's doing great. She's going to win.
All right, she's getting a pretty aggressive reporting on her. So let me ask you the flip question. Her opponent, Chris Coons, is getting a lot of press, a lot of aggressive reporting on something he wrote apparently 25 years ago when he was in college about whether he's a bearded Marxist or not. Is that fair to go after him? With all the criticism of people saying it's not fair to go after her for her witchcraft, how in the world can it be fair to go after him about something he wrote 25 years ago?
I think it is fair to dig into somebody's past, if you will, and find out their associations and their beliefs and kind of what formed their beliefs. But even more important is Coons' position today on growing government and his desire to join with the extreme left, the Democrats in Congress, and start taking away more of our liberties via that growth of government that they have so embraced. That's more important even than him admitting that he was a bearded Marxist back then. Somebody needs to ask him if he still is such a thing. That would be interesting to hear.
I think he's denied it, and he's probably done it multiple times. And I think what he's saying is that he's running on his record. He's been a county executive, and people know him in the state of Delaware. I think it is using politically against him, much like goes on in politics, sort of a smear. He's getting a little taste of what others have gotten, what you've gotten, what a lot of candidates get. And I'm just trying to figure out, when are we going to sort of put behind us sort of the stuff where we sort of jab each other unfairly because the other guy did it?
Yep, absolutely right, Greta. What you're suggesting there is, hey, let's stick with what is relevant today. And what is relevant today is a candidate's intentions, where they are going to go with spending and growth in government and protecting our Constitution. That is what needs to be focused on. We only have 41 days until these midterm elections. That is what voters who are quite wise in their research, in their collecting of information, that's what they want and need to know is, what is the intention of these candidates?
Is the Republican Party imploding a bit from the Tea Party movement? Let me go right back. Now we go right to your state, Alaska. Senator Lisa Murkowski, who lost the primary to Joe Miller, she's now running as a write-in, and some say she's a sore loser. I don't know if she's a spoiler or not, but what about Lisa Murkowski?
Well, you have to remember that after Lisa Murkowski was handed her job by her father, Frank Murkowski, who had served many years in the Senate, Lisa recently, of course, ran as a Republican, and she was essentially fired by the GOP primary voters. They said, no, thank you, no more of the same. We want some new ideas. We want common sense conservatism to represent our state. So she was fired by the GOP primary voters. Then she tried to run as a libertarian. They said libertarians don't like government necessarily. Lisa, you're not one of us. You can't run representing our party. So now she's running with the backing of many of the state's Democrats. So that seems to be kind of the mode of operation by a lot of liberals within the Republican Party, not real principled, not really grounded in where they stand on position, so doing whatever they can, saying whatever they can to get elected, and that's unfortunately where we see Lisa today.
Well, it's sort of interesting because you have Lisa Murkowski, Senator Lisa Murkowski in the state of Alaska. You have Governor Christ in Florida, who also, he saw the writing on the wall as running on trying to get the Republican nomination. You've got Mike Castle, who said that it's reported tonight, he has not said he's going to be a write-in, but it seems to have he's left the door open a little bit that he might be a write-in against Christine O'Donnell. So, sort of sitting back and looking at the Republican Party, it doesn't look like there's much unity. It looks a little bit like there's some implosion as a result of the Tea Party. Wrong?
I've always appreciated that the Republican Party, the contested primaries, and even after some contested primaries, we're not afraid to duke it out. We're not just a bunch of sheep going along to get along with one anointed leader, but within the party there is healthy debate and really good competition. I do believe, though, that now is a time for unity. After the Republican voters have spoken in a primary, now it's time to move forward with the agenda that is best for the individual states and for our nation as a whole. That is unfortunately not what is happening right now with, for instance, Senator Lisa Murkowski trying to run as a libertarian, and then now trying this third strike that she has underway right now. That's far from trying to unite the agenda, the party, the message, the common sense solutions that have to be plugged in to get our country back on the right track.
Well, give me a little bit of the pulse of Alaska. Does she have any shot at it? Because I don't have a sense of Alaskan voters or what the numbers are. Does she have any shot at all at winning?
There are so many Alaskans, like the rest of America, saying no more of the same. We're not embracing status quo anymore. That's what the Tea Party movement is all about. Tea Party Americans, and there is no one Tea Party itself, but Tea Party Americans rising up and saying, no, we're going to elect those who will protect the Constitution, rein in the federal government, and allow the private sector to grow and thrive and prosper. There are enough Alaskans who embrace those ideals and principles to be able to vote for Joe Miller and send him to D.C. to represent the state of Alaska and help lead the United States Senate.
All right, now I think we probably played the soundbite the other day, and if not, I've seen it a number of times where you seem to leave the door open to run yourself. And so let me come right at you on that question. What is it that, in your mind, would be a reason to run?
A reason to run is if nobody else were to step up with the solutions that are needed to get the economy back on the right track and to be so committed to our national security that they are going to do all that they can, including fighting those on the extreme left who seem to want to dismantle some of our national security tools that we have in place. If nobody else wanted to step up, Greta, I would offer myself up in the name of service to the public, but I also know that anybody can make a huge difference in this country without a title, without an office, just being out there as an advocate for solutions that can work to get the country on the right track. And that's where I am now. It's a comfortable place to be. And if my candidacy wasn't good for my family, if it wasn't good for the common sense conservative agenda that needs to be adhered to, then certainly I wouldn't run. I don't need the title. I don't need for any kind of self-gratification or personal power seeking of my own to run for office.
All right. Now let me try to sort of ask a backdoor question in the sense that, are you more likely to run today in your mind than you were, for instance, 6 months ago, or less likely than 6 months ago?
I am in the same place as I was 6 months ago, just absolutely concentrating, Greta, on the midterm elections.
You haven't moved an inch either way?
Nope. Still very, very committed to doing all that I can to make sure in these midterm elections that we have people elected heading to Congress who will do the right things for this country.
Governor, thank you very much, and I understand we'll see you Monday, so thank you, Governor.
Okay, see you Monday.